Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve the next two questions from VOR ADF RMI chapter RK Bali. So let's begin. Aircraft is on radial 240, heading is 230. CDI shows two dots fly right with a from indication. So what is OBS? What is sensing? What is ADF? Okay, so let's draw this. This is your VOR. Aircraft is on radial 240 on a heading of 230, right? On a heading of 230. Next, TDI shows two dots fly right with a from indication. So before addressing that point, if you are on radial 240 and you put radial 240 in the omni bearing selector, you will get from indication and the CDI needle will stay in the center because you are on radial 240. So it will remain in the center. VOR is only concerned about your position, not your heading. You are on 240 radial, it will stay in the center. Next point. Next point, they say that your CDI is showing two dots fly right, okay, and fly right, and pay attention to this heading. Heading is 230, and there is also a mention of ADF in the question. So in this question, they have not told us directly that we are flying inbound or outbound, but they have given us ADF. That means VOR and NDB stations are located at the same location. And with a relative bearing, with a heading of 230, you will be flying away from the NDB station. We will be flying away from the NDB station. Okay. So that means indirectly you're flying away from the VOR station or you're flying outbound from VOR. So when you are flying outbound from VOR station, this is your right hand side, this becomes your left hand side. Now the CDI is telling you to fly right. CDI is telling you to fly right. Now CDI will tell you to fly right if you are to the left of the selected radial in the OBS selector. So that means in the OBS selector, you have put a setting which is more than 240. Now CDI is telling you to fly right. You will fly right. That means you will fly to a radial which is to the right of 240. Any radial to the right of 240 will be more than that. So that means in the OBS selector you have put a radial which is more than 240. Now how much more? So it is two dots. Two dots equals to 4 degree. One dot is equal to 2 degrees, so two dots will be equal to 4 degree. So that means 4 degree to the right of 240 is radial 244. Okay, so you have put 244 and that's why you continue to get from indication because you're flying outbound and these two radials are also taking you outbound. The job of radials is to take you outbound. And the CDI needle has gone to the right hand side, right hand side. Okay, has gone to the right hand side. You fly right to intercept that radial 244. So you will follow the CDI needle, make a right turn, intercept radial 244 and then fly outbound and then fly outbound. Okay. So what is the OBS setting put by the pilot? Answer is 244. Sensing is normal sensing. You are going outbound and the OBS settings that you have put are also for the outbound radial. So that is a perfect match. So your sensing is normal. ADF. Now ADF is magnetic bearing to the station plus relative uh, minus magnetic heading. So magnetic bearing to the station is what? outbound bearing is 240, inbound bearing will be reciprocal of that, which is 060. Okay, inbound heading will be 060, magnetic heading is 230, so answer will be 60 minus 230, which is equal to 190. So ADF is 190. Now QDM is 060, therefore QUJ, which is true bearing towards the station, will be 060 plus 5, 065. Variation east, magnetic least, therefore true will be more than magnetic. QDR is 240, therefore QTE will be 245. So this is how you do the sum. Let's go to question 13. 13 states that ADF is at 170, heading is 030. So with ADF and heading formula, you will be able to find magnetic bearing to the station. So magnetic bearing to the station, also known as QDM, equals to magnetic heading plus relative bearing. So magnetic heading is 030, relative bearing is 170, which is equal to 200 degree. QDM is 200, so QDR will be 020. That means aircraft is located on radial 020. So over here NDB and VOR are co-located. This is radial 020. The opposite of it is radial 200. Aircraft is on radial 020, heading of 030, heading 030. Okay, you are getting a two indication. You are getting a two indication. Now here you can see that this is an example of reverse sensing. Why? This is NDB VOR and the heading of aircraft is 030. So any heading like 020, 030, 010, these headings will take aircraft away from the station. Will take aircraft away from the station. To go towards the station, you will have to follow a heading of 200, a south heading or southwest heading, anything like that. But if you have a heading of 030, that means you are going to fly away from the station. And therefore, if you are actually flying, if aircraft is flying outbound, but the OBS setting is related to inbound course, then you have reverse sensing. You have reverse sensing. Okay, you have reverse sensing. So that means this is an example of reverse sensing. So CDI shows two dots fly right. So ideally, your aircraft pilot should have set OBS setting of 020. In that manner, he would have gotten prompt indication and the CDI needle in the center. But according to the question, there is a two indication. Now, if you want two indication and you are on radial 020, that is also possible. So you will have to put radial 200 in it, which is direct reciprocal of 020. You will get two indication and again the needle will remain in the center. But in this case, your needle is CDI is showing two dots fly right. Now when you are going inbound towards the station, this becomes your left hand side. Inbound towards the station, this becomes your left hand side. This becomes your right hand side. If you are going outbound, this becomes your left hand side and this becomes your right hand side. So now in this case, the CDI is telling you to fly two dots fly right. Two dots is equivalent to 4 degree. So two dots fly right indication is given to you. So two dots fly right indication means you are 4 degrees to the left of the OBS setting that you have put. So that means this is one radial and the opposite of this. So this is radial 016 and this is radial 196. So that means in the OBS selector you have actually put a setting of 196, and that is why you are getting a 2 indication, and the CDI needle has moved to the right hand side. The CDI needle has moved to the right hand side. How? So see, you want to, the pilot has put radial 196 in the OBS setting. That means the pilot wants to fly towards the VOR and then transition to 196. Now if the pilot continues, I will draw here. This is NDB and this is VOR. If you fly radial 020 and this is radial 200. So if you continue flying inbound on radial 2020, you will overfly this VOR station and then automatically transition to radial 200. Okay, but the setting that the pilot has put in his OBS is 196. How do I get that 196? I will tell you. And this is 016. So you have got two dots fly right indication with a 2 indication. So when coming inbound, this becomes your right hand side, this becomes your left hand side. That means CDI needle is telling you to fly right hand side. The right when coming inbound is radial 016. Okay, so that means in order to go on radial 196, which is to this side of VOR, you will first have to you will first have to will first have to turn your aircraft according to what CDI needle says. That is, go to your right, intercept this radial 016, and then fly inbound towards VOR and then transition to 196. This is the meaning of this interpretation. CDI is saying two dots fly right, meaning 4 degree fly right, intercept 016 radial, then fly inbound on that radial and transition to radial 196. Okay, so but this is if you are flying inbound, but in real case you are actually flying outbound. Okay, you are actually flying outbound, and in that scenario, if you actually follow the CDI needle, which is say, telling you to fly right, you will turn your aircraft erroneously to the right hand side, somewhere to the right hand side, and you will intercept radials 030, 040, 050. You will keep doing that, make a full turn until you intercept radial 016. Okay, and when you intercept radial 016, that time the CDI needle will automatically come to the center, but that is not the correct procedure of flying. Okay, so that's why this is called reverse sensing. Why? You are flying outbound, but the settings that you have put are related to inbound towards the VOR. So the correct way is to, if you are flying outbound, first stay on that radial itself, turn your aircraft 180 degree, and then after turning your aircraft 180 degree on that same radial, start flying inbound towards that radial. Okay, inbound towards that VOR station on that particular radial. And after turning inbound towards that VOR station, you can then follow the CDI needle, because at that time you will be receiving normal sensing. And then flying towards the VOR station, you can then make a right turn and then go to the VOR and then radial 196. Okay, so this is an example of normal sensing. But flying outbound and putting settings of inbound will generate a reverse sensing CDI needle. So let's answer these questions. What is the OBS? The OBS pilot has set is 196. Why not 016? Because 016 radial is to this side of VOR, which will take you away from the VOR like this radial 020 is doing. Okay, you are getting two indication. That means there should be, you should understand that two indication means this side of VOR, which is 016 opposite. Okay, so that way. So OBS is 196. You are situated on what radial? On radial 020. We have found it here. QDM. QDM is what? 200. QDR is 020. Now variation is how much? Given in the question. So variation is pi degree east. Variation is pi degree east. So variation east, magnetic will be least. So true will be more than magnetic. So if QDM is 200, QUJ will be 205, QTE will be 025. Okay. Next, distance off track if distance gone is 120 nautical miles. So distance off track. So over here, so I will do it here. This was your NDB VOR. This was your radial 016. This was the radial on which you are located, radial 020. You are flying away from the VOR NDB, so you are somewhere here. The distance you have covered is 120 nautical mile, and now you are told to find this cross track distance, this distance of track. The angle is how much? 4 degree. 20 minus 16 is 4. So let's apply 4 degree equals to distance of track, distance gone into 60. So x is 8 nautical miles. So distance of track is 8 nautical miles. Distance of track is 8 nautical miles. Okay, so with this we come to the end of this lecture. I hope you have understood this lecture, and now with these questions you are getting comfortable with every question, how to approach that question. Even if you are not getting answers initially, don't stress yourself or force yourself to get accurate answer every time. First, give yourself multiple chances. First, understand the question. Take baby steps. Okay, get a right answer step by step. Every time you learn something new, see how much you have understood it, how much you can apply that knowledge practically, and then slowly you will build confidence and conceptual understanding. So these questions do require conceptual understanding and time. Even when I started as a student pilot, I took a lot. I required a lot of time understanding this, but practice drawing diagrams, many practicing many questions, thinking different ideas helped me a lot to get through this. So you should do the same, and I wish you all the best. Keep learning. Let me know your any questions, doubts, feedback in the comment box. If you have liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with all your friends. Do not miss the next videos which I am going to upload. I will be solving new questions from VOR RMI from this chapter. See you.